Hi, Neeraj.
Hey, hi Dr. Amit, how are you?
Fine, fine. So, somebody else from your side joining?
No, I think we are
Acha.
good.
Okay, okay. Junaid, can we start?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, we are expecting around 20 participants, 15.
Sure.
Just trying to get them. So, good afternoon, everyone. I hope you all are doing well and are well energized for what promises to be a power-packed and insightful session. On behalf of Sharda Launchpad, I'm Junaid, Incubation Associate here, and it's my absolute pleasure to welcome you to the GTM Strategy Hands-on Masterclass, proudly organized in collaboration with GTMVantage. We are excited to bring your session filled with actionable insights, practical tools, and proven strategic framework that can accelerate your startup's GTM journey. About Sharda Launchpad, Sharda Launchpad is a dynamic startup ecosystem nurtured by Sharda University and supported by the Government of India. So, key initiatives like DST, ITBI, Startup India Seed Fund, MSME, and Start in UP. Driven by the mission to help people help themselves, we empower students, alumni, early stage startups by providing access to mentorship, linkage to investors connect, and funding supports. We proudly serve as a vital bridge between academia and industry, fostering innovation and cultivating the next generation entrepreneurial leaders. Sharda Launchpad ecosystem wouldn't be what it's today without the guidance of our visionary leadership, Dr. Amit Sehgal, Director Sharda Launchpad. With over a decade of experience, he's been a mentor to numerous startups and the driving force behind our incubation vision. Mr. Anurag Pandey, CEO and DSDITBI Sharda Launchpad, a seasoned entrepreneur and a brand strategic expert with an impactful contribution to national platforms like Atal Innovation Mission and various startup missions. We have Mr. Pankaj Jain, Manager, Sharda Launchpad, bringing rich experience and key expertise working with schemes like BST and MIT programs. Is instrumental in implementing our startup support strategies. We are delighted to see a diverse mix of attendees from programs like Ignis Participants we are having here, as well as new onboarded innovators. To all of you, thank you for being here. Your passion and entrepreneurial energy makes session like the truly impactful. Coming to the agenda of today's masterclass is more than a discussion. It's a hands-on working session which will help you to craft your personalized GTM playbook, covering demystifying GTM framework, identifying your ideal customer segment, crafting a small pricing strategy, building a demand through proven channels. I may now invite our CEO, Mr. Anurag Pandey, sir, to share his opening thoughts and set the tune for today's session. Over to you, Anurag, sir.
Thank you so much, Junaid, for the overall introduction. Uh, so basically, as we are launching many initiatives under Sharda Launchpad, we are having Ignis 2.0, a pre-incubation program, especially to guide and support new entrepreneurs and launch into the market. So this session about go-to-marketing strategy, GTM, will be very, very helpful throughout. Okay, and once it's mastered properly, it can help you make your pitch deck better. It can help you find your target market and the value proposition correct. And I think these four things are very, very crucial in the pitches that we see in general interaction these days. So I hope you will take this session very seriously, and as it's very necessary session, and the expert himself comes from the industry background and has seen many startup pitches in his lifetime. So you please have a pen and paper and utilize this session for overall Q&A discussions. Chat box will be utilized for your questions during the session, and after the session, we will utilize 15 minutes of interaction with Q&A. So your question and answer will be addressed on the call itself. Okay. So let's start the session now with a positive note. I invite the speaker of this session to please take it forward.
Sure, thanks. Before that, Dr. Amit, you want to say a few words?
Yeah.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Yeah.
So welcome to this session on GTM. It's more of a workshop than a session. I know Neeraj since last couple of years, the kind of experience he has not only in India but global market and the platform that they have developed. So this has been extensively used and tested by many industries, mainly small scale industries and exporters. So this can really give you an idea that how you can build your own GTM, really using some tool. We are very much aware of various AI tools, and we are using the digital tools nowadays. Almost everything that we do, right from writing a simple WhatsApp message to an email to a presentation and everything. So we know that whenever there is any kind of automation, it simplifies our job, and that's what Neeraj and his team has been doing. I'm sure that going through this workshop, you'll get a fairly good idea of how you can build your own GTM, which is a very, very important part, particularly at early stage when you're trying to launch your business, take your new product or service into the market, or anytime when you're entering into a new market or you are introducing something new in your business. So GTM always plays a very, very critical role, right? So Neeraj, I'm sure that we will be having a lot of inputs and our participants will be able to understand exactly that how really to plan the GTM based on your expertise in the domain. Thank you for being with
Sure.
us.
Thank you so
Thanks.
much for those inspiring remarks and for laying out the vision so clearly. Now let's move on to the highlights of today's masterclass. We're honored to have with us Mr. Neeraj Saxena, a leading voice in GTM strategy with over 24 years of experience in GTM and sales transformation. He has led initiatives from global giants like SAP and FIS, built billion-dollar GTM engines, and spearheaded market expansion across the globe. Mr. Neeraj is the founder of X-Scale Consulting, a GTM advisory firm, and GTMVantage, the world's first AI-powered GTM strategy platform. Today, he brings deep operational insights and strategic clarity to help you build your GTM road effectively. So, without further delay, please join me in welcoming Mr. Neeraj Saxena. Sir, the virtual stage is all yours, sir. Over to you.
Thanks, Dr. Amit. Thanks, Anurag, Pankaj, and Junaid for organizing this session. I'll set the context. You guys know a little bit about me from the context Junaid has given. Adding one bit to that, I worked for a couple of decades in corporate, and then we have worked with more than I would say 30 companies very, very closely in building the GTM from scratch, right? Based on that, whatever is the concise summary of that, we assimilated in a platform today that is called GTMVantage, and we'll try to use that today. So the way we will structure the session today is first we will go into a bit of theoretical aspect of it, so you understand why it should be done, means or why whatever we are doing, why it should be done. Is it what is the science behind it, to say, right? What is the science behind GTM planning? And then we go into simultaneously in a hands-on session where we will operate the tool, or we will create a login on a platform and try to build our own respective GTM strategy on the fly, right? So that will be the approach of the session. So without further delay, I will start sharing my screen. Just give me 1 second. Okay, let me know once you can see my screen. Someone can confirm.
That's
Yeah, it's visible.
Perfect. So GTMVantage, as I said, we help companies using the expertise, the experience we have, as well as the technology, and then hence we call it the artificial intelligence, but human wisdom. All right. So the first thing first, many of you, if you are running a startup, an early stage company or a mid stage company, everyone you'll find, and at least I have been talking to the founders, promoters, and one being myself, everyone is exceptionally busy, right? Everyone is in a hustle mode. Everyone is busy, right? And whenever you ask this question, or whenever I ask this question, that How is it going? They say, oh, it's very, very busy. I said, okay. And when we discuss about planning, the thing is, oh, we don't have time to do the planning. There's so much going on that we have to focus on the execution. So the main point is execution is important, right? But planning also has its role. So for example, I'll give you through example, right? You are in Greater Noida in Sharda University. You have to reach Connaught Place. That's what your wish is. But you don't open a Google map and you don't know, let's say, the route yourself. You came out of the gate and start running in whatever direction you saw, right? You start keep on running for, let's say, 1 hour, very, very, very fast. There are two possibilities. You might be reaching closer to Connaught Place, or you might be reaching closer to a Jewari airport, right? Running fast does not mean that you are reaching closer to your goal. You might be actually moving away from it, right? So I think the direction while running is important. Similarly, planning at while you are in the middle of execution is very, very important. So with that, I'll move on. By the way, we'll keep this session interactive. Even if you have questions during any of the slides, etc., feel free to unmute yourself and ask. This is not a very large quorum. I think we should be able to manage. If we feel the disturbance is very, very high, then we can stop that. Or what I'll do, I'll take logical pauses, maybe after a few slides, and then invite the questions, and then you can ask the questions either through writing on the chat or ask unmuting yourself, right? Uh, okay. So when we say go to market has three key components. So somebody who wants to build a great go to market strategy, they at least need to have three things in place. First thing is targeting. Targeting means where to sell your product, right? Which geography, which industry, which customer segment, right? And within that, who is the persona? Means are you selling to a CFO or a CIO or a CEO? Whom you are selling to, basically, right? Who is your target audience? Second thing is the pricing. What is the pricing of my product, right? And it can be determined by multiple factors. The paying capacity of the customer that varies by geography to geography, industry to industry, right? How your competition is playing out in the market. That's the second big factor. And third factor is what is your cost structure, right? Ultimately, that what how if you are building a product at rupees 5, obviously if you start selling at 4 because your competition is selling, you don't have, or you won't have a sustainable business for a long time. And third is the acquisition of the customer. That how will you acquire your customer? How will you sell your product? Where you will find your customers, right? So these are the three things. If you have these three things in place, you are, I would say, largely done if you are a early stage company with your go-to-market plan, right? And we will cover them in that sequence today. So first is targeting, right? So let's try to define when we think about targeting, how to approach it. So let's say you are doing current revenue of $1 million and can be zero also, doesn't matter, right? And you want to reach a certain goal, right? It can be 1 million, it can be 5 million, it can be 50 million. So you have a current position and a goal, right? And that's the example of Sharda University and Connaught Place, the distance you want to cover, right? And it can be in the terms of number of customers, it can be the EBIT. Currently, you might be in loss, you want to become profitable, or you are in profitable, you want to become more profitable, and so on and so forth, right? So you want to reach from point A to point B. In go to market, what are the levers you have while to cover this distance, right? So for example, in the previous example, you can run, you can take an auto rickshaw, you can take a Uber, you can drive your own car, right? Ultimately, there are various ways you can cover that distance depending on what you have, right? What levers you want to exercise. So now let's see what are the levers in a go-to-market planning. So these are the four levers you can use. Number one is product lines. A company can, let's say, if you want to expand the revenue, and obviously if you are doing a planning, intent is to always expand. So if you want to expand, you can expand in four dimensions. One is you can increase your product line, right? If you are selling soaps, you start selling shampoo also, which is an adjacent category, for example, in a D2C world. Second is geographic coverage. If you are selling in one geography, let's say you're selling in India, you decide I start selling in Southeast Asia, or I start selling in USA or Europe or Middle East. So that's a geographic expansion. Target customer segment. let's say if you are selling to SMEs, you decide that I'll expand it by going to mid market or I'll start going to enterprise or vice versa. That means you expand your target customer segment. And finally, target industries. If you are serving to one industry, let's say banking, you decide I want to focus on now insurance and BFCs also because they are adjacent industries who have the same problem that I'm solving. So you can expand in terms of industry. So these are the four dimensions that you should take care when you are doing your go-to-market planning. And let's now look at a structure, how to analyze these four dimensions together. And they have to be analyzed together, right? A product A in geography one, with certain set of industries versus product B in geography two with some other industries, right? So they have to be analyzed against each other to see which of them are most lucrative. So the way to do it is the segmentation. So the first thing you will do, since we have spoken about four dimensions, right? Now you cannot plot four dimensions on a two-dimensional paper or two-dimensional computer screen. So what you'll do, you will take two dimensions first. So here we have taken enterprise, mid-market, SME, which is the customer segment. And on the x-axis, we have taken the industries, right? BFSI, logistics, IT, etc. So now we have taken two dimensions, plotted a grid, right? Now this grid has to be plotted for each geography and each product. So let's say if you have one product and you have trying to sell in two geography, let's say India and Singapore, then you will have two such tables, right? If you have two products, two geography, then you will have four such tables, right? Each product, each geography combination, you need to have a similar table, right? Once you have this table created, what you will do, you analyze the market. So basically, either you will do a primary research or a secondary market research, right? You can buy the reports, which is more like a secondary research. You can do a Google search, you can use LLMs, etc. We'll talk about the pros and cons of that, or you can do a primary research. That means you can talk to some of your potential customers. So this will give you an idea where the market exists for your kind of a product, right? Which industry, which geography. So that's the first part you should do. Second, and then you can do a RAG analysis, basically red, amber, green, right? Like I have shown. Then you do basically, you remove the segments or the columns which does not fulfill your aspirational goals. So for example, you want to become a company from $50 million to $100 million. Now there is a segment that means, let's say in Indonesia, IT services, the market for your product in IT is just $2 million. Now it will not fulfill your aspirational goal. You want to increase your revenue by $50 million. It may be too small a market to target. So retain only those segments that can fulfill your aspirational goals that we discussed in the previous slide. Third is perform a high level risk analysis. That means eliminate segments that has any kind of risk. So now it can be a political risk, as I said, like Afghanistan, or it can be regulatory risk, or it can be a security risk, right? So Afghanistan and Bangladesh or Iran, basically you may don't want to keep them, even if there is a market exist for them, because they're too much risk to carry, right? So this is the first part. That means you segment your market and try to figure out where is the opportunity for your kind of a product. The second part of this is define your competitor. Now again, competitor have to be defined for each product line and each geography separately. So now you will define your competitor, you will name them, competition 1, 2, 3, 4 or whatever, and then try to see what is the market share to get an idea how big or how small your competition is, and maybe some basic description about them. Third thing is that you will do a competitive landscape analysis. So now what is competitive landscape analysis? This is very, very important when you do a go-to-market planning and then try to understand the customer behavior. So whenever anybody buys a product, right, or a service, they choose certain attributes, right? And they evaluate certain attributes. For example, if you have to buy a car, you will look for what is the brand of the car, what is the safety rating, what is the fuel efficiency, right? How comfortable it is. So basically you have chosen few, and let's say what is the cost, right? You have chosen first few parameters, then you go to certain website and then put those filters, and then only go further and do further research on only those cars. So for example, if your budget is, let's say, up to 15 lakh, you may not visit Audi showroom, right? Because that's not relevant for you. So that's a point. First, you choose the parameters on which you want to base your decision of buying a product. You create a sample set out of that and do further analysis only on those brands or those products, right? Similarly, your customer do the same thing. They have a certain set of attributes, right? That they value or they consider important while buying such kind of a product or service. So what you need to do is in this exercise, you need to figure out what are the key attributes your customer look for, and we'll go into details a little further. And then how your competition and you are ranked on that. Now, again, you can do a lot of this through secondary analysis. So, for example, if you are a software product company, you are a SaaS company, what you'll do, you go to G2, you'll go to a website like Capterra, you'll go to Trust Monitor, and try to see what are the customer reviews and rating, how many stars they got, and they give the stars on various things, reliability, cost, etc., right? So this is a simple or rudimentary way to do it, right? The more research you do, the more thorough or accurate your scores are. So giving a score of 9 to someone in a brand means they have a very strong brand, right? So that's how you do your competitor analysis, and this will give you an idea how you are placed against your competitor on various attributes. This will help you define your positioning and your differentiators when you build your marketing strategy further on, right? So that's why it is very, very important. If you know this, if you don't know this, you won't able to make a unique positioning and a unique differentiator for your product. If you know this, you will able to make a unique differentiator for your product. So that's the competitive landscape analysis, and we will do these things together in a short while on the platform. Third is the customer preference analysis. Now, again, every customer in every geography have a different requirement. So, for example, large enterprise customer, normally they look for brand, they look for that have you worked in similar industry. That means you have enough references, right? How comprehensive is your solution? Because they are large companies, they need a lot of features, right? Now, if you contrast it with a SME company, right? Now they are not very too much bothered about that you are very, very comprehensive or you are very, very scalable, because they themselves are pretty small. What they look for is, if you look at the cost, is it easy to deploy? Is it easy to use, right? Do you provide good post sale service, and so on and so forth. So the features they value are different, and it will change with industry, it will change with geography. For example, in BFSI, when you go, the certifications are very, very important. Or do you have all compliance certification? But let's say you go to an IT company, they may not value the same certificate too much, right? So you are ISO or not ISO, they may not care that much, right? Versus a BFSI company. So you need to know what are the attributes your customers value. And again, you will find it again through either secondary market research or through some focus group discussions like primary research work, right? So that's the third thing. So now if you realize you have three key information points with you: market attractiveness, where is the market for my kind of a product? Second is how I'm placed against my competition, and third is what my customer wants, right? And your sweet spot is the intersection of these three circles, right? It's a simple Venn diagram. An intersection of these three circles, right, is the your sweet spot. That where there is a good market, right, where there's a enough market opportunity, you have a advantage against your competition, and your customer is looking for the same feature that you are offering. That's what your sweet spot, right? And that's the intent of this entire exercise. After doing these three things, you should able to find that sweet spot. Then the benefit of finding a sweet spot instead of running blind is, if you try to boil the ocean with your very limited resources, chances of success will be very, very less. But now if you find a very small segment, if it is, let's say, 2% of the entire market, but you have identified it precisely, your chances of success here will be very, very high, because it's a good market. You have a advantage against your competition, and customer is looking for the same features, right? So hence why it is important not to boil ocean and be very, very pinpointed while choosing your target segments, right? And this target segment will define your positioning, as I said. Once you know what are your strengths, how you want to position yourself in the market, you will do it that way. So companies on one hand sometimes show them the great value for money kind of a product, right? Or the like let's say Maruti cars, right? On the other hand of the spectrum, there are the BMWs, Mercedes, right? They don't talk about price anywhere in their ads, etc. What they talk about is the features, the class, the luxury, right? So those things. So when you choose a positioning, lot of things how you build your product and how you market your product, both of them will change. So positioning will not change only the marketing aspect, it will change your product aspect a lot because you have to build now your product according to those lines, right? So marketing and product goes hand in hand from this point on. So yeah, I'll take a pause. I'll again invite few questions. At the same time, we will do a bit of hands-on work right now instead of leaving it everything at the end. So I'll take a pause, invite any question, and then I'll jump on to uh, on a real-time demo of the GTM strategy tool through the GTM Vantage. No questions?
Yeah, anyone, any question if you have anything you want to ask specifically on GTM?
Yes, I have a question. Uh, when you try to find competitive advantage, I want to ask how can we shortlist attributes that we will look around these attributes?
Okay. So it depends on the business you are in.
So
So
like we
in
make
B2B business, right? Yeah. Sorry.
so we make
So I'm
interactive solutions for
huh.
schools and colleges,
Okay.
like interactive
Yeah.
books, physical games, and etc. Like
Sure. So see, what you need to find out, as I said, otherwise look for a broader set of attributes if you don't know, and then do your research. Sometimes you don't know, and when you don't know anything, there are two ways to do it. Talk to your customer, or number two, do an analysis on slightly larger set of parameter, and you start getting the trend on certain parameter. You will yourself you will know that what has been resonating, right? So that's how it has been done. So for example, in the previous example I was showing, we have taken some 10 attributes. We could have taken a 15 attributes also if we are not very sure. So I'll take everything that I suspect can be a attribute. We will do our own research that what customer is looking for, right? And then once we know that what customer is looking for, then we will move there from there. I'll show you in an example in this tool. So now what everyone can do is please go to this URL gtmvantage.com and click on this either try for free button or sign up for free button, whichever, right? So once you click on this button, you will reach a screen like this. Either you can create your account using Google or you can type in your email ID and name and say sign up. In this case, you will receive a email on your email ID for verification. Once you verify that, you will be taken on to the login page. And I'll give 60 seconds here for everyone to catch up to this.
Yeah, Neeraj, meanwhile, there is one query in the chat box that would you be covering
Okay.
B2C, B2B segment also? B2C?
Uh,
So, like, so basically,
differentiate how.
yeah.
Okay, so let me answer the queries on the chat box. So first is from Arihant, how to differentiate from market. The big competitors basically lower the prices to how to differentiate from the market. Okay, so this is a very common tactics. Look, you can never match the price of big companies. If the HUL is making a soap at a cost of 5 rupees, if you start making that soap, it will cost you much more because they have the economics of a scale. You all have read in your in your college curriculum the economics of a scale, right? It's a very simple maths. If the Nike is making a shoe at $20, you can never make the same quality shoe at $20 for sure, right? Now, the way to do is find is basically this is called the subcategory creation. You create a subcategory, right? Which is looking for something very, very specific that large companies unable to offer or they are not willing to offer, and both can be possible, right? So for a startup, one of the strategy is to look for the areas which a large competitor cannot offer or they're not willing to offer. And why the first thing happened? Why they cannot offer? Because it's something very, very personalized, right? Um I know a company in a very, very cluttered market of this audio devices, right? Bluetooth speakers. The boat is there and go noise and so on and so forth. This company came up and they start making only personalized Bluetooth speakers. So basically, you can get your company logo, your name, embed on the every speaker. So while you order, the grill you can customize, and then they will deliver it to you after 7 days after customizing it. Suddenly now boat cannot do it. They are selling few million every month. They cannot customize it, right, for everyone. Now these guys are selling me few thousand today. They can do it. They have to evolve their strategy to scale. But what I'm saying, at least they find a place for themselves, right? By just doing a mass customization work. So this is one of the examples. The other example can be there are sometimes market segments which are too small for large companies, which I also explained, right? If your goal is to do $1 billion, you are not interested in market segment which has 5 million to offer. And this is a place where a small player can come and enter, right? So you need to do. That's why I'm saying the market research is so important to find all of these places. Uh, the other question is from Sovik. Would you cover B2C segment? So B2C segment fundamentals are absolutely the same. It does not change at all, right? Because the buying behavior and all the research that has been done on the marketing, right? Actually, it has done more on B2C segment. B2B segment has taken a leaf from the playbooks of B2C segment at some point of time. So whatever we talk about today will have a relevance for B2C. By the way, the tool that we are going to show and discuss, it is built more for B2B use cases, right? So you may find some difficulty in using that tool if you are a B2C company, but whatever the session I am running or the deck I'm showing, it stays exactly the same, right? It won't change much. Uh,
Sir,
okay,
I have a
cool.
question.
Yeah,
Hello?
yeah.
Yes, sir. So, like in a B2B2C model where we serve both businesses and their end consumers, how should we structure our GTM strategy to balance both audiences? Should we prioritize onboarding businesses first or like focus on driving consumer adoption?
Yeah, so I think this is very, very interesting, and I would say a layered question in that sense. Not number one, too many businesses are B2B2C. There are very few businesses, right? And it's become a catch-22 situation. Shall I go and look for the end consumer adoption first, or should I look at the channel strengthening first, where I can sell more to my channel, right? Who can eventually end up selling to a B2C. The key thing, Kanak, here is you have to focus on the end customer first. If the product market fit has to be established with the end customers, right? And then not with the intermediary, the business or the channel company, right? So first, the product market fit has to be established with the end customer. Once it is done, you are 100% sure, right? You have spoken to customers, you have their feedback, you have their data, you can see their usage pattern and so on and so forth, repeat buying. Once all of that is being established, then you focus on the middle part or the B2B part of the thing or the channel partner part of the thing. So that's how it works. You have to first focus on the end consumer, because if the end consumer demand is not there, no channel stuffing. This is called channel stuffing. No channel stuffing can help you build a sustainable business.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay. Perfect. Guys, have you created the account? And if you have created and logged in, ideally you should be on this screen. Okay, I
Follow the
assume you are.
instructions.
Anyone wants
Yes.
to? Good. Okay, so once you're on this screen, the first thing we will do we will try to create a GTM strategy, right? So click on this, create GTM strategy. That's the first part that we have covered. Once you click on this, you'll see a lot of plans here, but you can click on new GTM plan, right? Click on this button, and this it will open a blank form like this for you. Yeah. For demo purpose, let me open something which I have pre-filled because we may not have time to fill everything here. So you will get a blank form. What you need to do, you just write the name of your plan, whatever name you want to give. All right. So here I have given Freshworks demo. You have to give your company name, not necessarily the legal name of the company, but just your brand name, and the company website. This is very, very important. So give your website. Now, I suggest you, instead of just typing the name, you go to your website URL and copy the URL with https://www. So just copy and paste it from there rather than just typing www.freshworks.com, because that's sometimes called the access issue. Uh, Let me know once you have done this step.
So what if the website is not available?
Okay, if website is not available, I'll come to that. So what you need to do, so
Is
once
social
website
media
is,
link?
no, social media link is not a great idea. What then there's a simple workaround. So basically, once the website is given, please click on autofill product using AI consultant button, right? I'll show you here. What it will do, it is now scraping your website in the real time and understanding what are the relevant products and services, right? So now I have done it for Freshworks, right? Now it has filled it, all the products they have: Fresh Sales, Fresh Desk, Fresh Service, Freddy AI, Fresh Chat, Fresh Marketer, Freshworks Platform, right? Now let's say you don't have a website. What you should do is fill the name of the product yourself and write a small description, right? So for example, this is example, Freshsales is that this is filled by the AI here. Freshsales is CRM software designed to help sales team manage leads, this and close it, to offer features like AI driven sites automation. So give manually a product description, right? The more precise you give, the better it would be, because the now platform is building the knowledge about your product through this data. And then you can fill some target geo. I just suggest fill one, otherwise it will take a lot of time to move forward. So just fill one target geo here, right? And then fill few target industries, not more than three. I think trial plan will anyway not offer more than three. So just fill few industries. If you don't know it yourself, if you don't have a website, if you have a website, click this button and then reduce the number of the products and the geography. So for example, what I will do, I am removing all of this basically, because then it will, otherwise it will push you to fill all of the details and then will not let you move forward. So just keep one product, which is offered by the trial plan, one product. So just we keep one product, keep one geography for time being, and keep three industries, right? Let me know once you have done this. So I suppose you would have done. If you have not, just ping me, like, right? If you want me to slow down, just ping on the chat. Like, please slow down or just raise your hand, right? Once you have done this, it has defined some customer segments already. These are the US definitions. So, for example, enterprise accounts are defined as companies with revenue more than $1 million. Similar to the mid-market and SME, you can change it, right? So let's say you think, no, for me, the enterprise is not 1 billion, it's 500 million. You can go ahead and change it. And the third thing that we discussed in the beginning is the target year, that which year you want to reach what. So let's say by 2030, this company want to move from $25 million to $50 million. So you give a, right, and then EBIT they want to increase from 10% to 20%. So I've given some hypothetical goals. You can give for your own company again. And finally, if you have some relevant information, let's say you have a market research report, you have built a strategy deck in the past, you have built some GTM planning, done some GTM planning in the past, you built an Excel sheet, just feel free to drop this. One of the key feature of the product is all the data stays in your user space. It is not, it's fully secure. So this, you can drop some of the information here. This will again help train the tool to give you more customized advice. Okay, has everyone done this part? I assume yes. Once you do this, you will reach on a screen like this. It will be again empty. Again, press autofill using AI consultant, right? And once you do it, it will start working. So now what it is doing, it is now analyzing your, after understanding your product, now it is analyzing the entire market landscape, etc. That where is the market for your product. Okay, so this has filled the details. So now, if you remember the segmentation exercise we did, it has given the market size, it has given the year-on-year growth, right? It is also telling us that in software industry, enterprise and mid-market has a high market for this product, which is Fresh Sales. Fresh Sales is a CRM software. So they are saying in the software industry, it has a good market. IT service and in professional service, it has a medium relevance. It has also given a high level rationale that why it thinks so. The CRM software is highly relevant to software industry, etc., etc., right? So it has given you the first answer that where is the market, where does the market exist for your product, right? And then you can do save and next. Let me know again, guys, if you want me to slow down. Would you? Okay, 1 second. There are some
Yes,
for me.
so certain questions in the chat board. I would like you, sir, to please respond to them.
One product. For me, it is showing exceed the limit and to upgrade the plan. You just add one product, one geography, and then it should work in 3 industries. Because it might have added a lot of industries or a lot of products, when AI has fetched that, just remove all of them. Just keep one product, one geography, 3 industries max. What is powering this platform in the backend? How to determine its accuracy and robustness? Okay, so there are four data sources that are working at a backend. Somebody is asking question. Param has asked a question. What is powering this platform at the back end, right? So, Param, there are four things that are powering this. Number one, a real-time web scraping that is happening. As you would have seen, it has scraped your own website and then gotten the product details, etc. Second thing is there are market research report repository that we have built and ingested into it. So there are hundreds of market reports that are there at a backend, which it is using that data. That's a second source of data. Third source of data, if you have uploaded any files, then it will use those files. That's a third source of data for it. And fourth is any other publicly available information that is there. It will use that information. So these are the sources of data for the platform. Okay, yeah, I did one geography and it's working now. Okay, good.
Yeah,
So,
sorry.
yeah,
Yeah, sorry for interruption. So may I ask one question?
yeah, yeah, please.
Yeah. So I just want to know that as somebody has mentioned about this robustness and all that. So is there any security issues or privacy issue as well that will this data be accessible later on by the backend team as well or?
No, no, it is not. As I said, this is a concept called vector DB or a user space. So this data is not accessible by anybody except for you. It is all anonymized data, by the way. So all the data that is being stored in a vector DB is anonymized. That means the context is taken away from that. So that means it stays in user space without the name of the company, etc. Right? So only when you analyze, then it will fetch from there in your user space and give you the data. Otherwise, it is not stored, and it is not accessible to anyone else outside of you.
Yeah, because there might be a chance of the idea theft, or you can say the strategy theft, because there is a possibility that what I am just getting from this data is not really going to be helpful. So I need some modifications, and so that's why I'm asking. So thank you so much for that clarification.
Yeah, there is one more thing since you asked that question is, let's say AI has recommended something for you, right? And based on your knowledge, sometimes your primary customer research, etc., you believe something different. So, for example, IT service enterprise, it has shown as medium, but you think it is high. You can go ahead and change it to high, right? So even that flexibility is there. So any data that is suggested by AI, even in the previous business detail screen, here, any industry, any geography suggested, right? You have the rights to change this. See, this platform is built, for those who are, well versed with their industry. They can take that call. Otherwise, this platform is built to be used with a consultant, human consultant, right? So that's why you always see there's a button called discuss with human consultant, right? So once you press this button, you can submit a query, you can book a time with a consultant, right, etc. Obviously, this is in a paid plan, but yeah. So one can do this. So let's say they want to debate any of this, they want to discuss with the industry expert, they can do it, or they can request, for query resolution or for a one-on-one discussion with the consultant. So that can be done from within the platform.
Okay, thank you. So one more question, if you permits that you're talking about some market search tools or the websites. I think I have missed their names. So can you please
Sorry.
the portals or the market survey tools that you are mentioning in your presentation while talking about.
Yeah, so if you want to analyze your competition, see, if you want to analyze the overall market, take some reports from any of the leading report publishers. For example, Euromonitor, Factiva, right? Some of these provide, CB insights. They publish very credible market report in terms of what is the market size, growth, applicability of the market, right? So for this market attractiveness, use those reports, right? In our tool, in our platform, we have ingested those reports at a back end, right? From where it gets some of this data. If you want to do research on competitor, I'll come to that. You use the review sites, right? So G2, Capterra, Trust Monitor are some of the leading review sites where you can, read the reviews about the competition. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much.
Then, cool. Okay, so then moving on the competitor, again, you'll say autofill using AI consultant. In this case, again, it will give you the competitor name, their URL, what is their market share, and a little bit of their details. So, for example, Salesforce is the biggest CRM company in US, right? Let's say for India, Zoho CRM is the biggest company with 20% market share. So now it has given you all the competition names, right? Again, you want to add something else, please feel free to add any other competition, right? If you want to delete something, feel free to delete something as well, right? So you can do that, right? If you think something has been missed. So that's the second step. Once you do that, and again click on save and next, it will take you to competitive landscape. Again, the same thing that we discussed in the presentation thread, right? So these are the capabilities. Now you can add any other capability if you want, right? Let's say you have a product you think that I want to analyze for that feature or attribute, right? You can add that capability to that. So, for example, if there are some very specific certifications that are required for your product, you are a aerospace product, and then you are looking for certain certification, you can just write those names, right? Relevant certifications, right? And then just plus, and it will add to this list. Once it will do that, again, you will use the thing called autofill using AI consultant. And then again, it will what it will do in this case, it is doing the thing I'm talking about. It is now it is going to all the competition data. It is scraping all the competition data from all possible places, some review websites, right? Uh, and then converting them into a quantifiable score, and then giving you the end answer that what is the scores. By the way, it will not fill scores for you. You have to fill your scores yourself, right? As a founder or as a strategy head or the marketing head of the company, you are supposed to know, wow, what are my scores. So you fill your own scores, while it will fill out the scores of all of your competition.
So, Anil, does it take any reference point for calculating these scores?
Yeah, so I think reference point, there's at the back end, there's a, I would say, algorithm which normalizes everything. So basically, let's say, it start getting very, very positive for someone. So basically, that becomes basically 10 or 9, right? For example, Salesforce in this case, right? AI capability is 9, brand trust, yeah, 10, right? So basically, what is happening is Salesforce being the leader will rank, or the best reviews in a certain category will be ranked at 10. If they have certain negative, it will come down to let's say 9 or something or down. So basically, it's more like a percentile system if you have to tell, right? The leader becomes at the top, right? And then everyone is ranked accordingly. Okay, so once we do this, and then you can fill your own scores. I'm giving a minute. In the meantime, somebody has a question in a chat. Acha, no, nothing.
And can we exclude some competitors? Like if I know that okay, this competitor is not relevant to me, or maybe
Yeah, yeah,
it's on a too much higher side.
yeah, sure. So you'll go there.
So from
Basically, you
your
can just, let's say Salesforce, you just delete. So all the names here will be taken there. So let's say I
and
want to
then we have
delete
to recalculate
Salesforce. Yeah,
the
you
scores.
have to. It will automatically it will remove this. Let's say if I remove, let me show you. Let's say I remove this copper, right? Right. I'll move on. Right. Now copper is not there. Copper is now taken away while leaving the other scores intact. If you want to recalculate that, I have removed it. Let's say if you remove the baseline, let's say you remove
Mm.
Salesforce, right?
Yeah,
Now then ideally then you should recalculate because now
of
you're
course.
changing the reference because now you're changing the reference. Yeah, everyone have reached this place. I'll move on in the interest of time. But if you want me to slow down, as I said, just ping me on the chat, right? Then we'll move to the next screen. And again, you immediately go and say autofill using AI consultant. Now, this is a customer value map. This is the customer preference on the different attribute of the product. Again, the same thing we discussed, right? So here we can see that for software, enterprise customer prefer these parameters, while SME customer prefer some other parameters, right? Again, and finally, once you have done this step, you just go there. Automatically, it will populate a grid like this. So basically, now it is showing that for fresh sales, SME segment in software, IT, and professional services are very high applicability or chances of success are very, very high. And then there are some moderately high segments and followed by some medium segments, right? I'm doing it for two geographies. So, it is showing that for mid-market software is high in India, enterprise is moderately high, while in US, most of the SME is high. So basically, that's how we precisely now identify where should we go and sell instead of, again, as I said in the beginning, instead of boiling the ocean and trying to sell. A lot of people say, I want to sell in US. Right now, US is a very, very large market. You have very, very small budget to target, right? And we'll talk about the demand generation. But if you are focused, then you will be able to do a focused demand generation in the segment. Okay, finally you move on and it will now create proposition and ideal customer profile. Let me do this here. So now it has creating the value proposition, Fisher empower sales team in USA with comprehensive CRM solution that is streamline lead management, etc., etc. It has built a very comprehensive ICP or ideal customer profile, if you see. So company demographics, industry, employee size, geography, right? Functional characteristics that, sales, marketing, customer support, right? Compliance needs are GDPR, etc. Right? Then you go further down, business needs, key problems, inefficient lead tracking, lack of visibility. Who are the decision makers? Key roles are sales manager, head of marketing, IT manager, CFOs, right? What are the buying signals, right? That when they should be buying. Messaging focus. What is your messaging focus, right? Core value message. So that way it has created a very detailed, target customer profile for you and the value proposition. Any questions, folks, on this before I go back to the next section in
Hi,
the deck?
Neeraj. Hello.
Hi, hi,
Yeah, this is
hi,
Dr.
Dr. Shubh.
Shanja. I just
Hi.
wanted to know, like, we can use this tool very well. It's good and it's appreciable. But once the company is in inception, like Amit sir also asked,
Mm,
like, once we are in the market, we are in inception, then we can
mm.
utilize this tool effectively.
Yeah, so you can, as I said, you need to fill instead of the only the first page, uh, business detail page, right? Here it is filling, it is filling the details by scraping the website. But let's say you don't have a website, right? You can
Yeah,
always fill, yeah.
yeah, we can, like, just to see what all facilitation we can get from here. So in that case we can have any website or existing websites also just to check. But for our product, once we need to do all the things, all the work,
Uh,
and at least company should be incorporated or website should be there, and we should be in the working model. Suppose someone is there at a scratch and at a premature level and at a beginner, so
uh.
how a beginner can make use of it?
Yeah, yeah. So, like ultimately, before you decide to put your energy in making, let's say even if you have a product idea, let's assume you want to make one more CRM for manufacturing industry. Let's say Freshworks is more for let's say IT and etc. Right? As you have seen. Uh, let's say you want to create a CRM for a manufacturing industry, right?
Hmm.
You just have an idea. You have not even started working on that. You don't want to waste too much of time first building the product, right? Instead of that, what you'll do, whatever your concept, you write your concept here, you write the product description that you want to build because it doesn't matter. For tool, it doesn't matter that that product is there or not. It is building the
Mhm.
context of the tool. You write that tool, you say, I want to target for Indian MSME market, right? And then I want to target to manufacturing chemical industry, right? Because let's say there's no CRM exists for them. That's your hypothesis, or no good CRM exists for them, right? You fill that data and then you help analyze through the tool, right? It will help you answer that question that, sometimes you underestimate your competition, right?
Mhm.
Sometimes you overestimate the market. Sometimes you overestimate the purchasing power of the market, right? Some of the segments, and this tool has shown it to many of our customers, they say that this segment needs your tool, but they say they don't have the buying capacity. Look, for example, the manufacturing I have said, manufacturing is mostly in India. MSME manufacturing sector is in a heavy cash crunch, right? And I know we are doing it for a customer, live customer, and tool has actually given that thing that the target customer segment needs this product, but they don't have the buying capacity, and that's a very interesting insight. Do you now really want to build the product if they don't have a buying capacity?
Mhm. And what did you suggest for this company website? Suppose just for a trial, if we want to experiment this tool. So, like, if we want to know our own real customers and competitors analysis and target market analysis and all that. So, what did you
Yeah.
suggest for this company website? Because it's a like mandatory
It's a
parameter.
mandatory field. Yeah, yeah. So then you can give your LinkedIn profile. It will
Okay.
fetch data, but that won't be that accurate. You can give your LinkedIn, let's say company LinkedIn page,
Mm.
social media page. You can give that. I'm not saying you cannot give that. You
Okay.
can give that, but the obviously scraping a Facebook page versus scraping a website is very different. Means you will not have that much of data. It will scrape it,
Yeah,
but you will not
for
have
now,
that.
like just to experiment, I have given the
Yeah, yeah,
LinkedIn
then you can.
itself, so it was retrieving everything from LinkedIn AI. AI will retrieve
Huh,
from there only.
huh,
Yeah.
huh, huh.
Okay, thank you.
Cool. Okay. So now, any other questions before we move on to the second section, which is the pricing? Okay. I am moving on. 1 second. Okay. So second section is pricing. As I said, the second once you know where to sell, it's important to know at what price to sell, right? Uh, and when we say what price to sell, there are three key consideration you should give. One is the input cost, right? What is your product development cost? What is your fixed cost? What is your variable cost, right? So what is your cost? As I said earlier also, if you are building something in 5 rupees, you end up selling in 4 rupees, you will not build a sustainable business. Yes, that's you can raise some VC money, you can go on, but that does not guarantee a sustainability, right? Even Byju's has gone down after raising billions of dollars, right? So because that's not a sustainable business, because they were actually selling at a loss, right? More loss. So that's one thing. Second is the company goals. That's very important. How fast you want to grow? What do you want to be a let's say 30% EBIT or a profit margin, or you want to 0%, or you are since you raise the money, you are okay with minus 30%, right? That will define your pricing strategy. So what is the revenue goal? How many number of customers you want? Amortization policy is a very tricky topic in the sense amortization means when you build something, right? Amortization and depreciation policy. You might those of you who are MBA students, etc. You might know about this. When you build a asset, you can amortize it, right? For example, you build a software by spending 1 crore rupees, right? You amortize it over 10 years. Basically, you are taking on books, you are taking a hit of only 10 lakhs, right? You will look profitable, but you won't have any cash because you have deferred the 90 lakh expense to the future years. You won't have cash, but on books you look profitable. Very good algorithm to raise VC money, right? A lot of companies do that. The smart companies, or I don't know smart or non-smart, but yeah, companies use this very cleverly to show the abnormal profits, right? Uh, Second is you have built software in 1 crore rupees. You have taken the entire it as a cost, right? Suddenly you will look lot less profitable, or you look like heavily loss making, but you have a actual cash position known to you. So what is your policy will define your pricing also. And third is what is your investor expectation. They want growth at any cost. They are okay with loss making. They want a certain return like 24% return on the capital invested and so on and so forth. Uh, so this is the second part, and third is the market and competition, right? What your customer want to pay, right? Second is how much your competition is selling for, right? And what is even not only that, what is the price structure? Do they charge one-time fee? They do charge the product implementation fee? Do they charge a SaaS like annual subscription, or they charge per transaction fees? What is normally industry get attuned to a model, right? So what is that model, right? And third is what is the price increase trend? So today, if you are selling at a certain price, uh, do you expect the price to go up in days to come, right? And then accordingly you can build a model around that I can increase able to increase price by 10% per annum. So today I'm making it a loss, but within let's say 18 months I will be at profit, because I know, looking at the price trends, that I will able to increase my price, right? That I'm charging, right? So these are some of the considerations. So actually, pricing simulations are not a point solution. These are normally converge into the area charts, right? So you know the line charts, right? So point solutions, line charts, and then the area charts. Area charts means you will find multiple solution to your pricing problem, right? Because it's always a range that you can say sell a product to, not one fixed point, right? Uh, Now, how to further optimize it? To further optimize it, you pick the attributes, a certain attribute or one attribute to optimize it. That EBITDA is most important for me. So maximize for EBITDA. While other conditions should met, but maximize for EBITDA. Then you will find one point solution. If otherwise, you will get multiple solutions, right? So for example, otherwise you can say that, I want EBITDA to be 15%, my IRR expectations 24%, and now optimize for lowest price. I want the lowest price, right? Still, that won't break my bank. Means that will meet my expectations of the investors. It will still keep me profitable, etc. But I want the lowest price. I can go and sell it, after meeting those expectations. So that's the way you optimize your pricing. So that's how it's been built. I'll again take you back to the tool. Again, any questions you can feel free to ask, but otherwise I'll take you to the tool. Okay. So here we are. You go to the second section, which is called pricing. In pricing, you click on add product cost, right? And this is the default screen that opens up. You select a GTM plan. So for example, if we are making fresh works, we will do this product name, fresh sales. We have only one product. So it will obviously, you have to create pricing for different products separately. So if you have more than one product, you have to do geo. We have taken two geos, right? You can create a common pricing for all of them. Let's say you say I will sell the product at the same price in all the countries. Then you will choose all. Let's say I have chosen all here, and then you give some cost title, right? Let's say fresh works cost, right? And then pricing currency you choose. So now, once you have chosen this, you will give the product development cost. I have spoken about amortization period. You say how much years you want to amortize. If you don't want to amortize, you write one, right? And then you say ongoing development cost, right? That how much you want to incur. You give other fixed cost, whatever the fixed cost, and how do you see the increase year on year. And then you give the variable cost, right? And then you say, how do you see the increase year on year? Once you do that, you can do a save, and then you click on move to simulation. This will take you to, right? Let me see, let me open a saved simulation. It will look something similar to this. Okay. So you will select this GTM plan, you will select the product, you will select the geo again, right? And then the cost title. Once you do that, you will specify the goals. What are your targets, right? So I have spoken about this earlier. You specify what is your revenue target by when. You want to become a $5 million in revenue by fifth year with a bit of 20%. And then if you see many companies try to create this kind of a plan, right? Folks, just give me 1 second, yeah. While you play with the tool, just give me 1 second. And someone is desperately trying to reach me. Just give me 1 second. Okay, sorry. I'm back. Um, so I was saying that then in this case, you specify that how many plans you want to create. Let's say startup, mid-market, enterprise. Then you can say fourth plan, fifth plan, or even you want to create only one plan, that's fine. You say what is the revenue target split, right? Here we said 30, 40, 30%, right? Now you want to specify, do you want to charge some one-time fee? You want to charge an annual fee? And what is the per unit cost, etc. So now here again, you can use AI. Once you press this, it will scrape all of your competition websites that you have specified in the first plan. right? And give you the pricing range at which they are selling. So now you will get the price range at which your competition are selling. So now you have all the three data. You have specified your cost, you have specified your goals, right? Revenue goals, EBIT goals. You know your competition price range, right? You know all of this. You will fill these things like what is normally your retention rates, etc. Once you fill all of this and press at the bottom simulate, it will create an output like this. So basically, what it's suggesting that you can sell your product at $500. You will reach, $1.5 million, which is 30% of 5 million that we wanted. You have to acquire 1,400 customers, and you will have 34% EBITDA, right? For enterprise, you can sell at $324. Again, the 30% we have specified there, and you need to 254 customer to reach 20% EBITDA, which is the target. You can analyze all of your pricing here. So this is your the revenue analysis. It is telling you what is your pricing strategy, how it has been changed, giving you some insights. Most profitable plan is the startup plan that is the highest margin, etc. Right? All of this it is telling you. You can do this analysis by revenue, by customer, by margin or the EBIT. So you can do your entire pricing analysis here. Finally, the DG planning, I'll move to, okay, I'll just take up any questions you have. I'll just take a pause. Any questions? Anyone? Okay, I assume it's I know you have to
I
play
do have a
with this.
question.
Yeah, tell me.
I want to ask, like we are in B2B2C setup, and many others offer free trials to get businesses in. Like, but
Yeah,
in early stages, while
huh.
businesses are onboarded, consumers' usage is still low. So, how do we decide the pricing in that case without undervaluing what we offer them?
Kanak, I don't know. I could fully get your question. If you can just repeat that again.
I'm saying, like, we are in B2B2C model.
Yeah, sure.
There are many competitors offer free trials to attract businesses.
Hmm.
So, how should we approach pricing, especially when the businesses are onboarded but consumer adoption is still low? How do we strike the balance between them?
Got it. So see, what you need to do there is, so one is the freemium model, right? As it called, right? When you do the freemium pricing, obviously you write off that cost, right? Because as I said, you can offer a free trial, free POC to a customer, right? That's a customer acquisition strategy. So two things are very, very important. What is your pricing and what is your customer acquisition strategy, right? Sometimes they complement, sometimes they may not complement each other. For example, let's say you figured out to serve a customer, you need $100, right? Obviously, it won't be zero, right? There will be always be a cost if you're serving a customer because there's a product development cost, fixed cost, variable cost, right? Let's say it came out to be $100. Now it's a marketing call that I want to give a free trial to a customer for certain period, right? That means I'm writing that 100 off as a marketing expense, right? For your internal analysis, right? And after that, it will go back to, after the trial period, it goes back to, let's say again, back to $100, $110. But whole point is, it's a marketing call, right? That are they willing to write off that as a customer acquisition cost? So let's say they say, if I go and do advertisement, I have to spend $200 to acquire one customer. But let's say if I offer free trial, I have to just write off the cost of the product, right? For certain month. So that means that cost is $100. So basically, the cost of customer acquisition I'm bringing it down from 200 to 100 by offering a free trial, right? Or I'm accelerating the customer closure rate by offering a free trial. That is saving me cost. So what the whole point is, you need to build a business case to do any kind of pricing, right? So your price, though on one hand is absolute, that you know that you cannot sell less than $100, but in certain cases, for example, while acquiring the customers, you take a business call that I am writing off this 100 as a marketing expense. because all other channels are even more expensive than this, right? Or this is the only channel that exists for me right now to sell, right? Does that answer your question?
Yes, sir.
Perfect. Okay, so the third and last leg is the demand generation. That means how to acquire the customer. Um, so see, the first thing you need to do is, again, you need to figure out for each of the product and geography combination, what are the channels you want to use. So for example, in India product one, you want to use channel SEO, inside sales, field sales, partnerships, PLG. PLG is product led growth, right? So you need to specify the relevant channels. Now one can ask how to choose these channels. The way to choose these channels is one of the simple ways is if your competition is there, you can analyze what they are doing, right? That's basically riding on the back of the research they have done, and then you start using the same keywords and then stuff like that, the same amount of content marketing, but that will not provide you any differentiator, right? So when you have to differentiate, you need to look for certain channels that provide you that extra space where you can, expand, right? And where your competition is not there too much, right? Ideally, you should be able to find at least one or two such channels, right? While piggybacking with the customers on the other channels, right? So you need to again do a bit of research that, where is my competition, this kind of product, how it is normally being sold, right? So for example, SaaS products are normally being sold in, let's say, PLG motion. PLG means product-led growth. You offer a freemium, customer try it for 1 month, they like it, they buy it, right? So that's a very, very normal motion. For example, the services business, the sales cycles are very, very different. They are field sales led cycles, right? Or for example, large product distributors, right? They use the channel partners. So the whole point is how your industry works. You need to see. You are a chemical industry, it will be distributor led, right? So you need to figure out how the industry works. Obviously, you need to be there on those channels, but at the same time, try to find your niche in one or two unique channels. That will give you the extra leverage. So that's the first part, that choose the relevant channels. And it's a very, very important part, by the way. There are more than 2 dozen channels. Choosing the right channel will optimize your cost. No company can optimize on all 20, 30 channels together. Most of the startups, they can only operate on not more than 4 or 5 channels, right? So it's very important that you choose the right channel. Otherwise, what will happen? You keep on burning money on too many things and spread too thin your resources, and results will not come from anywhere. So just choose the right few channels and then go after that. The second important aspect of demand generation is building a balanced funnel. Now it's again funnel. This pretty much every MBA student know this part: awareness, consideration, conversion, loyalty. This is a simple funnel. This is a 4 stage funnel. There can be 7 stage funnel, 9 stage funnel, depending on from where you are reading it, right? But this is the simplest one. Uh, the whole point is, while we understand this part, we don't use this part. Let's say some company, and then I give you example. There are companies who come to us and say, "Hey, we generate 100 leads a month, but our conversion rate is like 2%." What what they're doing is they're focusing too much on the awareness channel. They are not focusing on consideration and conversion channels, and hence they have a very, very poor conversion rates, right? There are other kind of companies come who say we generate 3 leads a month, we close 2 of them. They have an excellent conversion rate, but they are weak in conversion, right? So you need to figure out what is the right mix. When you do the right mix of awareness, consideration, conversion channels, then you optimize the ROI across your sales funnel. You will get the best ROI. Otherwise, you will always have a suboptimal ROI across your sales funnel, right? Uh, and then once you choose those channels, please build a detailed blueprint for each of them, what exactly you will do and who will do it, right? So for example, let's say you want to build an inside sales team, right? Then first is you hire SDR team, right? What channels within inside sales you'll use? Let's say email, LinkedIn, telecalling, right? Who is the owner, by when he will do it, right? Then you do a territory distribution, then you write a value proposition, define persona and use cases, right? Create mail copies, LinkedIn messages. So you need to step out everything. You need to have a owner. You need to have a target date if you want to run efficient execution, right? A lot of companies start slipping on the execution side, right? what is the expected pipeline, what is the historical conversion rate if you have tried this channel, and hence what is the revenue and the cost. So you can able to create a cost revenue ratio or the ROI for each channel, right? Once you create, do this exercise, eventually you will end up creating a DG plan like this. That these are the channels I want to use. This is the pipeline impact, let's say $20 million. This is the revenue impact, $4.7 million. This is the cost, $1.2 million. This is my cost to revenue ratio, and this is my ROI, right? Keep an eye on this, which channels are draining your ROI basically. So for example, cost to revenue ratio for this channel is 75%, very, very high, right? You may not want to continue it for very long. You should find ways to replace this channel, right? Double down on the channels that are giving high ROI, right? So you can optimize on cost revenue ratios, right? So again, I'll quickly take a pause. Any questions, folks, before I show you it, show this in the tool? Okay. So once you go here, you select a GTM plan. Let's say you said Freshworks demo. You select the product. You select the geography. DG plan name, Freshworks BG, right? And then you can write a description. Otherwise, you can autofill using AI. So now it will start analyzing. So no valid geos are there. So let's do it for USA. Try to see, because sometimes look what happens is when you try to do for multiple geos, it may not find a relevant channel which works across the geo, right? So then it's always better to do by geo, by the way, a demand generation plan. The things you'll do in US, you'll not do in India, right? So for US now it has recommended SEO, content marketing, field sales, social ads, account planning, and retain and upsell. So these are the channels that it should use. Once you do save and next, it will give you high level tactics that what you should do in content marketing. For example, you should write blogs, you can write white paper ebooks, right? You can do interviews and podcasts, etc. So you can change any of this, right? If you want. This is your execution plan, so feel free to change anything here. You can, as I said, define the owner, define the date by when you want this to get open. If some channel is not relevant, just go and delete it. If you want to add any channel, you can add a row, right? Uh, and then you just, as I said, define that what is your goal in terms of pipeline and the revenue. Uh, Number of internal marketing. Do you want to do it internally or want to do through agency, right? How many resources are required? What is their cost, etc. And you can say save and calculate ROI. It will show the ROI in the channel. So finally, again, as I shown you, this will look exactly like this. You'll have a channel name, your pipeline impact, revenue impact, cost, etc. Right? And then you can track your entire demand generation plan from here. So whatever things you have decided to do, you have the full plan. Let's say you want to say what is pending on Neeraj, you can just see it from here, right? What is due on the content marketing front from Neeraj, this is due from here, right? So you can check all of this from here. Uh, any questions? Again, I'll take a pause. Any question, folks? Okay, I'll
Neeraj, one question.
yeah, yeah,
Maybe I missed that point earlier. So, what
yeah.
kind of geos we can select? Can we do it like Northeast India, South India, or maybe a particular state?
So no, it is you can select only the country as a geography. Currently, the sub country data is not fed into the system. So we have fed a lot of country data. So sub country data is not there. So that's why it's not possible to select the at a sub country or a state level. One second, I'm
Okay,
just
so
looking at.
most of the startups is they'll be working in domestic market, so they'll have to select entire India.
Yeah, that's right.
Any other option here where we can be more specific? For example,
So we
it
are.
can be
Uh,
demographies more relevant to rural areas, tier one, tier two
mhm.
cities.
So we are building
Any other
something
factor?
on. So we are building something right now. It's not in the tool. You need to do a little more on your own, I would suggest. But yeah, we will launch that or introduce that at some point of time, because that requires some very, very. So in India, etc. The granular data is very difficult, or accurate granular data is not available in most of the international reports, right? Because we are basing our data on a lot of international reports, right? Like the, as I said, Factiva, Euromonitor, CV Insights. They don't have that data for tier one, tier two cities. The Indian, most of the Indian publishers does not have reliable data. They have a very poor, inaccurate data. We have seen it in the past. That's why we have not included that. It's purposeful as of now, but we'll try to find a way as we progress
Basically,
that in.
accuracy will decrease.
Yeah, yeah, accuracy goes down. That's a problem. They are not
Right?
reliable.
That is what most of the people are facing the challenge,
Yeah,
the lack of exact data from where you can do this basic work.
yeah, yeah, yeah. In India, data the granular data at accuracy with high accuracy is not there. That's a problem. That's why we have not included it. Okay. So I'll move on. Once this plan is built, right? Uh, then it's important that you execute flawlessly on these plans, right? Ultimately, unless until you do or act on this, no plan can help you. One of the key things, and this is more for Indian startups, they rely heavily on the human resource, unlike their Western counterparts or even Singapore or Southeast Asia counterparts, right? Where the automation is very, very high. Right? Here, the companies don't use that many tools, right? I strongly suggest please use tools for whatever you are doing. It is more accurate. The tool work 24 hours, like your best human resource may work 12 hours, right? Uh, if you configure or use them properly, it has a very, very high efficiency gains. You will realize. So use as many as tools as possible. We work with so many companies, even the mid-sized companies who are doing turnovers in hundreds of crores, right? And they are so manual. And then we try to optimize their cost by automating a lot of things, right? By deploying the third-party tools, by writing the AI agents, right? All of that we have done for our customer. Please do it for yourself. And the gains we have seen is phenomenal. So I highly recommend that please do this, that automate whatever you can. And finally, the monitoring and calibration. So GTM plan is not a one-off exercise that you do in the beginning of a year and then forget and visit it next year. GTM plan is a living document. You need to see whatever you have planned, how is it working, right? So for example, which of the channels is giving ROI, which of the products, which of the geographies are performing or not performing, right? Whatever is not performing, cut it down. Don't waste your money and time there, double down on whatever is working. That's how every company builds their final or a successful go-to-market plan. Nobody builds a successful GTM plan on day one, right? So they build a GTM plan, experiment with few things, measure them very, very tightly, right? And then arrive at this thing, right? So GTM planning, as I said, is an ongoing activity. Obviously, you need to have mechanisms to track whatever you have planned without spending too much of their time, right? And whatever is not working, you go and replace it, right? So I'll just show you here how it works. If I go back to the tool, right? So by the way, this tool, whatever the demand generation channels you choose, it recommend the further automation tools you can choose. For example, inside sales you want to run, you can use ZoomInfo, Lucia, Apollo, right? Email outreach and automation. You can use these tools. Sorry. So that's how it is suggesting you, it is guiding you towards that. What are the tools you can use, right? You want to do SEO, it is telling you what tools you can use. So you can use those tools to automate. And finally, if you have a CRM, and you should have a CRM by the way, please integrate your CRM from here. Once you integrate your CRM, it will build these kind of dashboards for you, right? So for example, it will tell you that what is the planned pipeline, what is the actual pipeline, right? What is the channel-wise planned pipeline, right? What is the performance against each of them. So basically now you will see that at any level, right? What is your content marketing, etc. At every level, how you are working against your plan, right? So that way you will monitor it and you will continue to optimize and then eliminate what is not working double down on what is working, right? So I'm coming back here. Uh, so again, this is the last slide. So make time for planning. You would have heard this thing that sharpen the X kind of a thing. So make time for planning. Uh, I would suggest all the successful founders I worked with, right? They spend 10 to 15% of their time on planning. It is not a overhead, this is not a waste of time. This is an essential thing you should do. So please make sure you spend at least 10% of your time on planning, and you will see that the results you are getting will increase, dramatically, right? Instead of just running in all directions. So yeah, that's all from my side. I'll stop sharing. Happy to answer any questions anyone has.
Any question from the participant?
So I think we have already taken a lot of queries in
Questions
between.
in.
If there are
So
no queries, Junaid, you can conclude.
yes, sir.
There is something in chat box.
At what frequency do you update the report database to ensure?
Yeah, so it's a continuous process. Yeah, so it's a continuous process. There's no set frequency. It's a continuous process. Whenever we see a relevant report, we update it. So it's a completely continuous process.
Right. I think Junaid can conclude. Meanwhile, Neeraj, if you can just brief that anybody, if they want to use it further, they
Yeah, yeah.
want to
So
consult you
so
for any GTM support.
sure. So I think feel free to, you can create a trial account, use it. I can share our coordinates here, my coordinates, or I am writing in the chat box, GTM. So I'm Neeraj at, so this is
So
my, hmm,
thank you to all for your thoughtful questions. And once again, thank you, Mr. Neeraj Saxena, sir, for responding to each one of the question in such a depth and patience. As we wrap up, I extend a heartfelt thank you to Mr. Neeraj Saxena, our speaker for today's session, for delivering such an impactful and insightful session. Dr. Amit Sehgal, our director, for his continued vision and mentorship. Mr. Anurag Pandey and Mr. Pankaj for their operational leadership and support. To all our participants from Ignis and other cohort programs and new joiners, thank you for your engagement and energy. Let's keep learning, building, and scaling together. Wishing you a great success in your GTM journey ahead. Before we end up this call, I would like everyone to please switch on their cameras and so that I can capture the screen for one final moment. Everyone, please.
I think it's fine, Junaid.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. And
thanks.
have a
Thanks,
wonderful
everyone. Thanks for your time.
Thank
Have a good day ahead. Take care. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.